episode 1 of season 2 of Severance. Turn away now if you don't want to be spoiled. Dusty, you just watched season 1 in like a week. We told you to prepare. What did you think of season 1? Did you love it as much as we did?
No.
Really?
It's a good show. I don't think it's transformational television. Slow burn felt to me like
it is a slow burn, yeah.
That's crazy. It's like they're purposefully misdirecting you and wasting time on things like walking down endless hallways for 5 minutes in an episode. It feels like almost like a slower version of like The Walking Dead sometimes, the way they build up the episode and then drag it out and then cliffhanger it. Again, I like the show. It's good. I'm going to continue to watch it and I will enjoy it. But a few gripes. I don't think it's not the greatest thing that I've ever seen.
Okay.
It is good television though.
Wow. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen either, but it's definitely the greatest thing that I've seen in like the last 5 years.
So let's all just say it's the greatest thing since Better Call Saul.
Yes.
Yeah. That was like the last holy fuck TV show. So season 2 begins. Mark S wakes up in the elevator and he's like, oh fuck, like what's going on?
I gotta go see her.
And he's running through the hallways trying to find his people. And it turns out that they just replaced the team with like some random people, which was
my God,
really funny. That old guy was so funny.
What was it? Mark,
the other Mark, yeah.
Something, I forgot, yeah. And
the few interactions with the little girl who was like the new manager was so funny where they just why are you a child?
Why
are you a child? And she's like, it's because when I was born. It was so funny. Oh, this episode has set up some interesting stuff. Mark trying to figure out like what the fuck happened. I guess we find out that like it's been about 5 months since
5 months. Mr. Milkshake is now running.
What were they calling
MDR?
What was the mispronunciation of it? Mr.
Milkshake.
Mr. Milkshake. Yeah. Mr. Milkshake is now in
head of MDR.
Yeah, he took over for Patricia Arquette's character. And
Cobell.
He's spinning a story that like you guys started this like uprising and we went public with it, and because of what you guys did, we're like completely restructuring how we treat innies and all this crazy shit.
So fake, which is all fake news, by the way.
So fake, yeah.
Like the picture, I don't know if you saw the newspaper clipping or the newspaper. Like the cars that they're in is like JFK era cars.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's black and white, like it's clearly like photoshopped or something, right?
Yeah,
like, and he's trying to pass it off as the real story. It's like that.
Yeah.
That did not happen. I don't know what the cover up was, because Helly R, she went on stage and like was saying like we're treated like shit and this is terrible and all that.
Yep.
But I don't know if we don't know yet if any of that made it to the news or to the outside of that convention or what.
Well, I'm curious what the whole mystery of it is, because like I was really taken by the show in the first season because it was a really interesting concept. Like I've never seen anything like this before. The concept of like two separate individuals, but they're the same person. Really, they're not the same, but they're the same. It's really cool.
The concept immediately like brings you in because you think like, I wonder what my innie would be like if I was severed.
It also raises a lot of like philosophical questions and things like about like just nature and all that stuff.
Yes.
And it's really interesting. But in this world of the show, it's a known thing. The public knows that this technology exists.
There's protesters, everything.
There's protesters. This company has offices all over the world where seemingly they have this department where people could work as innies.
You guys have an elevator? We had a rope.
They're not forced into it by any means. They choose to do it.
No.
The morality of the show is centered around the fact of like, these are two separate individuals, despite having the same body. And one individual is powerless and at the will and the whim of the other individual, because the outie controls and makes all the decisions for the innie. Technically, the innie has no control over anything.
They can't even quit.
So that's the concept of the show, is that it's basically forced slavery to this completely separate person.
Yes.
And like them trying to fight it. But there is some bigger mystery to the whole thing that they're not showing us yet. I'm really curious to see what that is. What's the secret? Like, what are they hiding, really? What's the company do? Why are they so secretive about it? There's got to be more to it than what meets the eye here.
Yeah, what's the meaning behind the numbers? Why does Totoro start dreaming of black ooze every time he falls asleep? Is that just the paint?
Yeah,
he's painting every night. Like,
right.
There's a lot of weird unanswered stuff.
Irv is trying to. You kind of get the sense that he's trying to figure out what is going on down there, because that's why he's
totally drinking
coffee to sleep deprive his innie.
Yep.
and like he's doing all this research on
Yes.
what goes on there. So he's
Exactly.
definitely trying to figure out what they're doing down there.
Patricia Arquette Harmony, obviously she's not gone. Like she's coming back. Where is she? What's she up to? What was she even doing? She was like some sort of spy or something. Like, what was she doing? Why was she living next to him and like keeping tabs on him? It's very bizarre.
It seems like where he lives is where those employees live.
Yeah, it's almost like a military base where like you just live on base.
He says it's subsidized by the company, Lumen. But
so it's like,
and then you would think like you would have some sort of, you know, inclination that you could be working next door to your boss and you don't know it, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't factor in anything he's doing. So, or the guy in the season 1, his best friend that died, like they just ended that storyline. We're gonna find out.
Well, you gotta strap in, man. You can't get it all answered in one go. Yeah, this first episode, it was really good. It didn't really do like a ton other than like a little bit of just like world building of like, here we are now, we're 5 months later. We tried to replace your team. Didn't work out because you threw a fit. So here's your people back. We have some office changes. We removed the cameras and like you got...
Which is a lie, I think.
Yeah, of course. Here's a new manager. We're creating a room for you to like have visitations, Audi visitations, but don't tell anybody else because they might get jealous.
That's typical triangulation and manipulation.
Oh yeah, turning people against each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I am surprised that he let them. Like, obviously, they would have to bring the group back because that's what everyone wants. But I'm surprised that he did that to like. What's the reason that they want Mark to stay so badly?
Mark is for sure the central.
Yeah.
Like element to whatever's going on because Patricia Arquette was living next door to him clearly for surveillance. But I don't know if the company knew that she was doing that. They kind of leave it like they kind of make it seem like they didn't know she was doing that because now she's fired and all this stuff. But maybe they just separated her so he forgets about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who knows really what she was up to? But the wife thing, like, why would that be a cover up that she's not dead? Like, he seems to be the central figure of what's going on somehow.
I just feel like they're just using her like just as another experiment for their testing their chip that they put in people's heads.
Maybe,
like, I think she's like, her Audi is like in a coma or something. So that's why.
If you're in a coma, you would have to have somebody cart you in and out of the elevator, right? To wake you up, right? Like,
well, you couldn't leave. Not if she doesn't ever leave there.
Yeah,
that's what we're led to believe, that she doesn't leave Lumen. Like they talk about it in the first season. There's like the theory that like Pete draws the map, right? And there's like a section on the map where it's like people live here, question mark, question mark, question mark. So it's like there's theories that there's severed people that don't ever actually have like Audis or regular lives, I guess. Like they just stay there forever.
A lot of interesting stuff. On episode 1 wasn't like too meaty, like I said. It just did some world building stuff, like here's where we are, here's where the state of our characters.
It was enough though.
It was enough. Yeah.
The most interesting thing to me that I'm still a little bit confused about is Helly R. And
she's lying.
If that's Helly R or if that's Helena.
See, now that's a good theory.
Helena pretending to be Helly R.
That's a good theory.
Or is she like trying to just hide that she's related to them?
That's a good theory.
It could be both.
It could go either way.
The way they wrote it and her dialogue was like perfect for
I didn't actually even think that being a possibility. I just assumed automatically that she was trying to hide it from them because she didn't want to like, get them to turn on her or whatever. But that's actually a really interesting theory. Like it could just be Helena being like trying to just pretend.
She's trying to be a spy, like trying to.
Yeah. That could be too.
And as far as her like hugging Mark S, and I mean, they knew they had pictures of them kissing, so they could have just prepped her like, hey. You have a romantic. Your innie has a romantic thing with this guy. Like,
yeah, totally.
So I don't know.
There's cameras everywhere. She could just be fed the feed and do her.
Yeah,
homework.
Exactly.
Yeah, they did that in a really good way. Obviously, those other characters aren't just one-offs too. They're going to make a reappearance. So I'm curious what their role in it is. They might be like spoilers for our characters, like trying to fuck up their whole partnership that they got going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was interesting because obviously Irv is the one that's been down there the longest, and he's like technically the oldest.
Yep.
Innie.
Yep.
Some of those new people though were like kind of young.
Yeah,
it seems they were surprised by how long Mark S had been there and all that. So
it was a good episode.
I don't even know
if
they came from like a different state or a different whatever.
Didn't they say they came from a different branch
They said a different branch,
Yes.
but I'm just.
Oh yeah, we
I'm
don't know
just-
where the branch is, right? True.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
But we do know there's other lumens with other severed floors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So-
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like what is the expanse of this? What is the reach of this company?
And that's the original one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the original one.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that that's not like a recreation of his house. That's got to be like they built it around the house, right?
That would make sense, actually. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
They get the waffle party.
There's a lot of subtext to this show too, obviously, about
Yeah.
like working in what it is to work in like corporate America, and
Mhm.
and
It's
I
the same premise. Like, even, sorry to cut you off, the whole severed notion is like when you go into work, you're not the
Yeah.
same exact person as,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, it's the
Especially-
same thing, but just,
especially when you
super,
work in an office.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
I work,
exactly.
you guys know that I worked. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show. I used to work at Geico many years
Mhm.
ago. Obviously, this show plays it up, but this is what it feels like to go work in an office building.
100%.
Yeah.
Like you, like literally, you walk.
This is like code switching.
You depressively walk through the parking lot. I used to fantasize about throwing myself in front of like a car in the parking lot in the morning. Like, yeah, no, like, all right, if I could just fucking, like, I'll get hit, it'll be fine, I'll recover, and then I could sue the company for like unsafe
Oh, okay, I got you.
parking lot, and then I can retire. Like, I swear to God, it literally sucks the life out of you
It
working in
does.
this environment, and like, you go through those doors, and it really is. It's just like it's like a whole different person, and you're like, "Fuck, here I am." You walk through your cubicle, and you hear people like worker bees saying the same thing over and over again every day. Hi, thanks for calling Geico. How can I help you? I had a
Yeah.
dream about Geico last night. Actually, no
Ooh,
shit,
Fuck that.
not even joking. I was back working at Geico. I just
Oh,
remembered it
God.
now, and
Did
I
you
was like,
try to jump out the window.
no, thanks for calling Geico. This is Dan. How can I help you? And like, oh my God, it makes you feel like shit to work in this type of environment. And the guy, what's his name, who plays Milkshake, does such
He
a
plays it so good.
his
Oh
name
my
is
God.
Tremel Tillman. He does such a good job of playing like
Yeah.
the boss who does not give a fuck about you, but pretends to. Like,
Oh God.
and I
yeah.
know that firsthand. Every manager you talk about, hey, Dan, you're doing such a great job and we really
Yeah.
value you, but like, you got to do this a little bit. It's like, you don't value me. If I died in the seat, there'd be a pit that opened up below me. I would drop into it and another me would fall out of the ceiling. Like,
That's it.
so this show does a really great job, and it speaks to this question of like human. Like, it's not a question. I think it's just an objective truth. Human beings are not meant to do this. Like,
For sure.
be stuffed in a cubicle and like just drone on every day and like do this shit. Like, you're meant to have freedoms of choice and just happiness and like, you know, God-given freedoms. I think the show is just great. There's like so much to it. It's a very, very good show. Yeah, it was a great episode. I'm very happy that it's back. We're going to be covering it every week, folks. We committed. And it comes out every Friday. So next episode is January 24th. We record on Mondays. So our episodes come out on Tuesday of every week. So the Tuesday after every episode, we'll have our thoughts on the previous episode. Subscribe to the channel if you want to join in on the conversation about Severance. And let us know what you thought of episode 1 down in the comments. And yeah, leave a like and do all that cool stuff. So stay tuned for more coverage of Severance Season 2.